What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Things are really heating up after the WrestleMania press conference as Triple H plans to address the fallout from Thursday's event. So join us now as we look at this week's edition of Smackdown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including The Rock's signal that he will betray Roman Reigns, 2 massive bouts planned for WrestleMania, an NXT superstar injured again, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia Shorts. They are a little shorter, but packed with detail. But as always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, The Rock joins the Bloodline. Now, The Rock is back, but he quickly made it clear that he has no use for the fans, largely because they ruined the match of the century by asking for Cody vs Roman rather than the better choice, The Rock vs Roman Reigns. This segment was all about 2 things, making sure the fans know that The Rock is heel and solidifying his spot in the Bloodline. We also love the fact that The Rock was kind of meshing in 2 eras together with his look, the $500 shirts, but in the Hollywood Rock style waistcoat. Knowing the prices now, those $500 shirts must be $5,000 shirts by now. While some fans were upset that the WWE didn't set up the expected Cody Seth versus Rock and Roman match at WrestleMania, there's plenty of time to do this, and the WWE isn't rushing a storyline this epic. Number 2, more good Elimination Chamber qualifiers. A Smackdown featured more magnificent Elimination Chamber qualifier matches. While Logan Paul, Naomi and Tiffany Stratton's win were foregone conclusions, the matches were still very entertaining, and both the Elimination Chamber matches looked to be pure gold. Number 3, did Logan Paul just wrestle on TV? Who was a blonde guy wrestling The Miz on Smackdown last night, and what was he doing with the US Championship? Oh wait, that was actually Logan Paul, the WWE's resident celebrity champion, making sparse appearances here and there. Now, many people have remarked at how quickly Paul has mastered the grappling game with his in-ring work. He's also shown it in another way by upstaging Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in the art of rare appearances and even rarer title defenses. But all kidding aside, Paul may not show up often, but when he does, he over-delivers, as seen by his trash talk and his match against The Miz. Number 4, LA Knight roasts Drew McIntyre. Speaking of trash talk, kudos to LA Knight for roasting Drew McIntyre backstage. Drew's smarmy heel act is nothing short of brilliant. Nonetheless, every good heel needs a good moment of comeuppance, and LA Knight served up some humble pie to Drew last night when he noted Drew hasn't held a title since Knight's arrival. Knight dug the knife in deeper when he told Drew there's room on his CM Punk WrestleMania tombstone shirt for his name DM Hunk. It'll be interesting to see how things play out between Drew and LA Knight in the coming weeks. Number 5, Dakota Kai is on her own. Bayley is no dummy. While the role model is back to being a babyface, she hasn't suffered the massive IQ drop that often comes when heels revert to babyfaces. No, Dakota Kai may have had a big target on her back thanks to her helping Bayley against Damage Control, but Bayley has been around the block enough times to know whom to trust. Number 6, more R-Truth goodness. R-Truth is the wrestling equivalent of MSG. Now, we're not talking about Madison Square Garden, but monosodium glutamate. Sprinkle some on, and he makes any segment just that much better. Last night, Dominic Mysterio foolishly asked Truth for help during Dirty Dom's match against Kevin Owens, telling the 9,234th time 24/7 champion to get him a chair. Truth simply complied, only to take the chair and just sit on it. Simple, yet gold. And Bron Breakker joins the Blue Brand. Now, the Blue Brand just got a huge addition in the form of Bron Breakker. The former NXT champion and current NXT Tag Team champion announced that he's now signed with Smackdown. Fans have been waiting for Breakker to join the main roster for over a year, and it's going to be interesting to see how he's used. He's a tremendous competitor with a proven pedigree, but he'll need a good storyline and opponent to carve out a spot on Smackdown, a roster that seems to expand weekly. That was the good. What about the bad? As number 1, AJ Styles' storyline is meaningless. AJ Styles is mad as hell, and he's not going to take it anymore, not from other WWE superstars and not even from his teammates in the OC. Unfortunately, this is anything but high stakes drama, as the OC have been completely devalued since their latest return. Gallows and Anderson compete on NXT while Mitchum wins as many matches as Zelina Vega. No offense to Zelina Vega, but is the WWE Universe supposed to get invested in this storyline when there are so many other more interesting plots on the Blue Brand? And AOP squash match spin cycle. As good as it is to see the AOP back in WWE, we hope that they don't get stuck in the squash match spin cycle where they beat up local talent or NXT undercard wrestlers every week but fail to get any further. Hopefully this is just a one and done squash match. As nothing ugly as a proper build-up for Elimination Chamber, and the WWE also furthered the White Hot Rock storyline. What do you guys think of Smackdown this week? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at The Rock signaling he will betray Roman Reigns, and here's why. On top of today's news is The Rock's return to Smackdown and the fallout from him joining the Bloodline, particularly a fan theory that The Rock is setting Roman Reigns up for a fall. It's been said that pride goes before a fall, and Roman Reigns' hubris is taken on mythological levels, just in time for someone to knock him off his mountain. While Cody Rhodes will be the man who finishes the story, The Rock and Roman will only be starting their saga. Ex-user Jimmy Van took a look at a trail end of The Rock's promo, commenting, "I rewatched Rock's promo. Look at the camera work when he says he'll do everything to make sure you walk out a loser. Looks like he's pointing at Roman. Oh yeah, Rock is a double agent on this one." While some people have a tendency to look too much into things, especially with WWE, which has traditionally been as subtle as a sledgehammer to the skull with its storytelling, the WWE has improved its storytelling ever since Triple H became Chief Content Officer. You may recall WWE hired someone to serve as its continuity chief to make sure that storylines actually make sense as they develop over time. This was seen with the late great Bray Wyatt's return to the WWE with its meticulous White Rabbit storyline. It's clear that there's more to The Rock's return than just spoiling Cody Rhodes' WrestleMania dream. The beauty of this storyline is that fans just don't know whether The Rock plans to help Cody or hurt him. What is clear is that a showdown is coming between The Rock and Roman. How it plays out remains a mystery, and this should make for some of the best wrestling TV in years. Another potential clue that fans have noticed is when the Bloodline raise their finger up in the one sign, The Rock's sign is much different. His finger and thumb are extended in an L. No, he's not part of the Shoguns, but is this a sign that The Rock is the real head of the table? After all, The Rock is the biggest member of the Bloodline. His success is tenfold compared to any others of the Bloodline. Does this show that The Rock's ego is bigger and he's in it for himself? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, 2 big bouts planned for WrestleMania. It looks like fans could see 2 major matches at WrestleMania 40 besides the much anticipated Cody Rhodes vs Roman Reigns matchup. Fightful select Sean Ross Sapp was asked about the long-rumored Jey vs Jimmy Uso match at WrestleMania, and Sapp answered, "That was the plan to the best of my knowledge." The WWE has done an impressive job maintaining the heat between Jey and Jimmy without it boiling over before their first one-on-one matchup. Many fans doubted if the WWE could keep them apart between SummerSlam, but they've allowed just enough interaction to remind the fans and confrontation is inevitable without cooling things off. Maybe they did spoil it a little at the Royal Rumble, but that was only just a brief tussle. Don't be surprised if Jimmy cost Jey his Intercontinental Championship shot against Gunther, leading to a clash at WrestleMania. There's also another matchup being discussed, but this one is still up in the air. Fightful Sean Ross Sapp also discussed Logan Paul's opponent at WrestleMania 40, noting LA Knight's name has been discussed. That was the plan. I don't still know if it is the plan, but that was discussed at one point. Right now it looks like the WWE is setting things up for a program between Drew McIntyre and LA Knight. Whether that happens immediately or down the road remains to be seen, as the 2 superstars are on separate brands. As for LA Knight vs Logan Paul, this would make for a fantastic match at WrestleMania, as fans could expect some great promo battles leading up to the match. This could be the WWE's chance to put championship gold around LA's waist and give the US Championship back to a full-time competitor. While we understand the WWE wants the belt on Paul right now to draw in even more mainstream publicity going into Mania, Paul won't need the title after the WWE Showcase event. Next up, an AEW star returning soon. There's potential good news for AEW as Dave Meltzer reports that Dr. Britt Baker has been training hard. Although she isn't cleared for wrestling, Meltzer reports her return shouldn't be long. Baker has been off AEW TV for some time, and for whatever reason, AEW hasn't been used her to cut promos to help others get over. AEW's women's division is mediocre at best and a mess at worst. Hopefully she'll be back soon, and while she isn't carrying the division on her back, the recent addition of Deonna Purrazzo and the rumored debut of Sasha Banks should help very much. While former AEW Women's Champion JB Hayter's return date remains a mystery, her return can't come sooner enough. And finally, an NXT superstar injured again? And last but not least, apparently bad news for NXT superstar Nikita Lyons, as Dave Meltzer is reporting she is injured again. Lyons has been repeatedly bitten by the injury bug, with her previous injury being an ACL tear that kept her out of action for nearly a year. Hopefully the WWE can determine what's going on and get Lyons back into competitive shape. While she has plenty of talent, the WWE might be reluctant to give her a push if they feel she's injury prone and looking at her time in NXT. It's difficult to say she's not. But there you have it, folks, our look at Smackdown as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.